If you were to take a whiff of your own skin right now, what would you smell? Most people think body odor is inevitable and just spray something on to cover it up. But that is a dangerous mistake. Your natural scent is important to get to know because if you smell bad, it's not your body betraying you, it's communicating with you. One scent can even signal insulin resistance. You just need to learn the language. And here's the part nobody wants to hear. Masking your scent with perfume or chemical deodorant actually makes things worse because what goes on you goes in you. That's just adding to the toxic load your body is already struggling with. So stick around because we're about to show you exactly how to fix it naturally. There are 3 distinct body odor types, and each one points to something completely different happening inside your body. Let's start with the most intense one. Picture this. You finish a workout, or even just sit through a stressful meeting, and your sweat smells sharp, sour, almost like vinegar mixed with onions. It stinks up your shirts, your sheets, and yes, your shoes and socks too. It's not subtle. This is classic Pitta derangement, and I'll explain what that means in just a minute, so stay with me. Pitta lives primarily in the liver and the small intestine. When your liver gets overwhelmed, it starts dumping acidic waste compounds into the bloodstream faster than they can be cleanly eliminated. Research has shown that the volatile fatty acids responsible for that sharp, pungent smell are directly linked to liver overload and inflammation. And inflammation is just another word for heat. Now, before we get into the fix, let's zoom out for a second because what you're about to learn will completely change how you look at all of this. This is where Ayurveda comes in. Ayurveda is a 5,000-year-old system of natural medicine from India that was built around one beautiful idea. Your body is constantly giving you signals, and instead of suppressing them, you should learn to read them and adjust your life accordingly. Long before diagnostic technology existed, Ayurvedic practitioners would assess a patient by observation, including smelling their breath and their skin. Each scent pointed to a specific imbalance. Ayurveda teaches that the body is governed by 3 bioenergies called doshas. First, there's Vata, the energy of air and space. It governs movement and the nervous system. Think of it as the wind that carries your thoughts, your breath, and your food through the body. Next is Pitta, the energy of fire and water. Pitta governs transformation, metabolism, and the liver. Think of fire as the force that transforms raw food into energy, and water as the medium that keeps that heat from scorching everything. Finally, there's Kapha, the energy of earth and water. Kapha governs structure, fluids, and lubrication. Think earth plus water equals mud, the stuff you can actually build something with. Ayurveda also has a short, easy word for the accumulated toxins that build up when things aren't functioning well. It's called ama, and body odor is one of the clearest signs that ama is accumulating, regardless of which dosha is out of balance. And here's the empowering part. You can observe yourself and figure out what's up every single day for free. Now check this out. Scientists have identified specific volatile organic compounds in sweat that correlate with specific diseases. Dogs can literally sniff out cancer, Parkinson's, and COVID before you'd even think to get a lab test. I've even seen rats used as service animals to alert people when they're about to have a seizure. Basically, your scent is diagnostic data, so let's learn how to read it. But first, a quick clarification that's going to make everything else make sense. Your liver is the filter. Your skin is an elimination channel, along with your kidneys, colon, and lungs. Sweating out toxins is normal and healthy. The problem arises when your liver can't keep up with everything you're touching, breathing, and consuming, and your sweat starts letting you know. Now, let's connect some dots. A chronically overheated, overloaded system is the root of so many Western diseases that get treated as separate problems. Menopausal hot flashes, migraines, acid reflux, ulcers, hypertension, autoimmune diseases. These aren't random. They're all branches of the same tree, a liver that's been pushed too far. The protocol to cool Pitta is simple. First, stop feeding the fire. Heating foods are a big part of this, and some of the main offenders are alcohol, fried foods, refined sugar, and excessive spicy food. But heat isn't just about what's on your plate. Heating practices like overworking, training in the midday sun, hot yoga, and getting wrapped up in high-conflict relationships also crank up Pitta. So think holistically and pay attention to the types of energy you're taking in. Second, bring in bitter and cooling herbs. The star of the show here is an Ayurvedic herb called Bhumi Amla, sometimes known as stonebreaker or gale of the wind. Research has shown it supports liver enzymes and helps the organ regenerate its own tissue. Pair it with turmeric, coriander, and fennel for added anti-inflammatory support. Now let's move on to a completely different smell. It's heavy, musty, and kind of damp and stale, like an old gym bag that's been sitting in a closet or a wet towel that's made it into the hamper. Some people even describe it as mildewy or faintly fishy. This isn't a quick, sharp punch to the face like the Pitta smell. This one lingers even after you've left the room. This is Kapha stagnation. Remember, Kapha is earth and water, and a little mud is great, but when there's too much and nothing is moving, it becomes a swamp. Lymph stops flowing and digestion slows to a crawl. Here's what's actually happening at the microscopic level. When digestion stagnates, food sits in your intestines way longer than it should, and it starts to rot. The bacteria that thrive in that stagnant environment produce heavy, sulfur-based compounds that get absorbed into your bloodstream and released through your pores. Research has linked this smell pattern to gut dysbiosis, which is just a fancy term for an imbalanced gut microbiome where the wrong bacteria are running the show. Other signs of Kapha imbalance are chronic congestion, stubborn weight gain, high cholesterol, and relentless brain fog that won't go away no matter how much coffee you drink. If that sounds familiar, you're not broken. Your system is just stuck. Drop a comment and let me know which scent you're recognizing in yourself. I want to know what's going on with you. Okay, to get the swamp moving again, you need to light the digestive fire. Make your new morning ritual a cup of fresh ginger tea with a squeeze of lemon. Ginger is one of the most powerful digestion-boosting herbs in the Ayurvedic pharmacy, and studies have shown it dramatically improves gastric motility. That means it gets things moving through your gut faster so the bacteria can't sit around fermenting your food. Second, embrace the bitter greens. Dandelion, arugula, and mustard greens are all fantastic for clearing ama from the system. If bitter isn't your thing, you can soften the edge by pairing greens with a little lemon and olive oil. For bitter herbs, you can work with neem, either as capsules or tea. Bitter taste stimulates bile flow, kickstarts digestion, and helps the liver release stored toxins. Now, what if you're someone who barely sweats at all? Even after a workout, your skin feels dry and the smell is faint and kind of stale. You might even be a little proud of it, thinking you've cracked the code on hygiene. But Ayurveda would raise an eyebrow. This is classic Vata. Remember, Vata is wind. A gentle breeze circulates fresh air and keeps things lively. But when that wind turns into a storm, those cold, dry, relentless gusts strip the moisture out of everything they touch, and you end up running on empty. Modern life is basically a windstorm. Chronic stress, overexercising, undereating, too much caffeine, and not enough sleep increase Vata so much that you're left so depleted that your body can't even mount a proper sweat response. And that means instead of detoxing, you're just drying out. Vata imbalance also manifests as anxiety, insomnia, constipation, dry skin and hair, cracking joints, and that wired but tired feeling where you're exhausted but can't actually rest. To calm Vata, Ayurveda prescribes warmth, oil, and grounding. First, eat warm, cooked, slightly oily foods. Soups, stews, and khichdi are the gold standard. Khichdi is a traditional Ayurvedic one-pot meal of mung beans, rice, and warming spices, and it's basically a reset button for your entire digestive system. I'll leave my personal recipe in the description so you can try it at home. Second, slow down your workouts. If you're grinding through intense cardio every day, your body is begging you to switch to walking, yoga, and strength training. Third, try ashwagandha, the legendary Ayurvedic adaptogen. Studies have shown ashwagandha reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone that drives Vata imbalance. Keeping it in check helps the body retain lean muscle and improves sleep quality. If this blend of ancient wisdom with modern science is resonating with you, hit those like and subscribe buttons. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable so more people can find it. Now, before we move on, there are 2 extra scent signals that you absolutely need to know about. The first is a rotten or putrid smell, like something is decaying. That is deep ama, meaning toxic buildup has reached a serious level. Your body is screaming for rescue. This is when you need to pull back hard on the things stressing your system and consider a supervised cleanse. The second is a strangely sweet or fragrant scent that shows up without explanation. If your breath or sweat suddenly smells sweet like fruit and you haven't been eating any, please get your blood sugar checked. That sweet scent is acetone, and it's one of the earliest warning signs of insulin resistance and diabetes. A sweet or fragrant scent can point to specific imbalances where the body's ability to process sugars has started to break down. A simple and powerful habit you can start today is taking a gentle 10 to 15 minute walk after every meal. This curbs the blood sugar spike and helps your body actually use the food you just ate instead of storing it or letting it ferment. Okay, one last thing. Remember when I said chemical deodorant actually makes things worse? Here's why. Conventional deodorants and antiperspirants are loaded with aluminum, parabens, phthalates, and synthetic fragrances. Aluminum literally plugs up your sweat glands so you can't sweat. That means the toxins your body was trying to eliminate get trapped inside you. Research going back decades has raised serious concerns about its connection to hormone disruption and breast cancer. A much better alternative is a crystal deodorant made from potassium alum or pure mineral salt. The salt creates an environment where odor-causing bacteria can't thrive, and it doesn't block your sweat glands. However, rock salt doesn't work very well on hairy armpits because the hair traps the odor and prevents the salt from reaching the skin. So at least trim it down. But here's the most important point of this whole video. If you're eating well, sleeping well, managing your stress, and your gut and liver are happy, your sweat won't stink. Period. You won't need deodorant of any kind. One less thing to buy, am I right? Your body is not the enemy. It's your home. So stop covering up the smoke and start putting out the fire. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go even deeper on how to work with your body instead of against it, check out this video right here. Remember, longevity isn't luck, it's a lifestyle. Until next time.